welcome back. I mentioned we have young Kim here, and she's going to tell us all about her campaigning that she's doing for Congress. Well, welcome. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me, Lisa. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. And, you know, we appreciate you coming here. And I know you were mentioning that you're back and forth a lot. And, you know, that's tough. It's tough on a family, and it's tough on your work. And you were mentioning that you do lots of video, which is really a great tool. And you know, Zoom has also been a great tool for us as well. So that's wonderful you could be here. So tell me a little bit about your current position and what you've been having to do.
Sure. I currently represent California's 39th Congressional District. It's been an honor to represent the communities where I lived and worked and raised my 4 children, and now my grandchildren live here. So we've been Orange County resident for over 3+ decades. And during that time, currently I'm representing North Orange County areas, but with the redistricting that happens every 10 years, I am very proud to be running in California's 40th Congressional District.
Okay.
And for the first, very short time I've been in office, I've been able to accomplish and bring results to my constituents. And I've been focusing on making sure that we bring our economy back on track, bring some common sense in legislating. And I've been working to make sure that we focus on especially those senior citizens and the retirees that are living on fixed income. I'm working to fight and protect Social Security, Medicare. These are all important issues, and I will continue to do that because especially during the time in the last 2 years we've seen under the lockdown. We mentioned, and you mentioned in your opening, how I've been doing a lot of correspondence and connecting with my constituents through the Zoom meetings, conference calls, and those are the ways that I stay connected through teletown halls, or webinars, or even roundtable discussions whenever I'm back in the district.
That's awesome. And when I want to show the picture of your family, because you said you have, 3 generations, and that's a lot of experience over the years in our area, right? And so what I'm wondering is that what have you seen from the very beginning of when you started on your path to what's happening now? What are some things you want to see change?
Well, first of all, as an immigrant from South Korea, it's an honor of my lifetime to be able to live the American dream. Never thought that I would be an elected official representing the communities and the people that I call home in Washington. But over those years, over the last several decades especially, what we thought was a golden state of California, it's no longer recognizable. So I'm fighting those socialist policies in Washington. Nancy Pelosi, Biden administration, they are promoting the socialist policies. So I'm making sure, because I served in the California State Assembly before I went to Washington, I want to make sure the policies coming out of Sacramento do not become the new federal normal. I'm fighting for pro-growth, pro-business policies that will get our economy back on track. I want to fight to keep the American dream alive. And as I mentioned, I have 4 grown-up children, I have grandchildren, so it's not just my generation fight here. I'm fighting to ensure that the American dream for all Americans, especially for the next generation, is still there. But it's really important as we age that we protect Medicare, protect Social Security. So those are the focuses that I'm paying attention to, and access to quality health care, especially for seniors to have access to health care through telehealth, which was critically important during COVID, but also audio care, access to more Social Security, quality Medicare programs. Those are all important things, and I'm already addressing those. I'm working on fighting inflation with the legislation that I introduced. It's called the Combating Painful Inflation.
Oh.
And I'm fighting to make sure that our communities are safe to live and do business with. We have seen rising organized retail crimes. So I introduced a legislation to combat just that, make sure federal government put it as a priority. Border security is national security. I've seen, and I've gone down to the border 3 times in my short time, and I've recognized that no one border state has the same crisis. So I introduced a bill called the Comprehensive Southern Border Strategy to come up with a mile-by-mile strategy, because California, Arizona, and Texas border, we have a different set of challenges that we have. We need to provide more resources to the border patrols because we have record number of migrants coming through those borders. If we don't get it under control, our communities will suffer.
I want to ask you a little bit about that because you yourself, you're an immigrant and you've been here a long time. How do you think some of the migration that's coming over the border is going to affect your children and grandchildren?
Well, we're worried about the human trafficking. We're worried about the fentanyl that is being smuggled into our communities. As you know, fentanyl is now the #1 cause of death for Americans between the ages of 18 to 45. My children are growing up, my grandchildren are growing up, they're going to be affected by those. So what we see at the southern border, migrants crossing the border, is undermining our legal immigration. We came here legally to live that American dream.
Right.
It is eroding. So we need to get back and get a better control of our southern border.
Let's talk a little bit about veterans. We have an awful lot of veterans and we have VA hospitals and some of them are really not doing a lot for our veterans. What do you think you might be able to help there?
I'm already addressing those. In my current district, we have close to 37,000 veterans. Look, my sister served in the United States Army for 28 years. Her husband served 28 years also. My husband and her brother are veterans. We served honorably, giving back to America because we're so appreciative of what America has provided to us.
Right.
My promise is that when we ask you to serve, you answer the call of duty. When you come back, we want to be able to protect you. We want to help you assimilate back into the communities with your resources. If you're going into startup businesses, we want to be there for you. I have a legislation, especially seniorpreneurship. Did you know that a lot of veterans included, seniors between the age of 55 and 64 are the fastest growing business entrepreneurs doing the startup businesses. That include minority-owned, veteran-owned. So I'm paying attention to making sure that the promises we make to veterans especially are the promises that we're going to keep.
Love it. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing all of this information. And good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
We'll find out pretty soon here in about a week.
It's an honor of my lifetime to serve, and I'm looking forward to representing 48th Congressional District and all the residents here in South Orange County, including those that live here in Laguna Woods.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. All right. And if you want more information about Young Kim and all of the things that she's going to do, you can go to youngkimforcongress.com. We'll be right back.